Welcome to the Weekly Social, folks. Everything Katy, Fulsher, Richmond, Texas. Today we have Sandy Bueller with Bueller Photography, as well as the lovely Priscilla Poff.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Thank
out
you,
today, guys.
Sandy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, I'm
Thanks.
so glad you're here.
Thanks for inviting me.
So glad.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and your company, sir.
Well, my company's in Patterson, Texas. I grew up in Patterson,
Yes, sir, you did.
and my studio is right next to the house that I grew up in, which I still live in.
Oh, wow.
And
On beautiful acreage.
we're on a
Just
ranch, and my cousin operates the cows, and it's wonderful. And so we got a 1,600 square foot studio, and
Wow, that's good size.
It's awesome.
standalone. And we have times where we have families come in from Houston, and I'll hire a chef just to make little hors d'oeuvres and stuff.
Yes.
And as the girls are having their makeup put on,
You also have a makeup artist
I
there.
have makeup artists. The men, they go and shoot skeet at the barn with my cousin,
Oh, wow.
while the girls are getting their makeup done, so they're not sitting around twiddling their thumbs, and they're out there
cool.
having a good experience. And then we call them, call my cousin and say, yeah, bring them back down, and he'll bring them in the
We're
ATV.
ready. The girls are finally ready. Yeah.
They've had a blast. The girls are gorgeous. We set them down in this meadow, and within 10, 15 minutes, they have their family portrait done. And it was seamless. And there was a lot of anxiety to get them there, getting them in right clothes and stuff.
But we bring,
But
everybody
they were
brings
so
several.
happy,
Different sets of clothing and all that.
Do you have blue bonnets during the blue bonnet season there?
I've tried growing blue bonnets, but the birds go get the seeds, and
they take them away?
yeah, they eat the seeds. So I haven't. There's some blue bonnets, but they're not as nice as they are on like 71 going to Austin.
Yeah, Chapel Hill and that
390 or
area.
whatever.
Yeah.
There's just some.
No, that'd be ideal if I could have my own little blue bonnet patch. I do have a little purple violet patch that's right next to my studio, and it lasts for like a week and a half.
Oh, wow.
And every year I get at least one person that wants to sit in those violets. And it's gorgeous. It's like covered the whole grass area.
So it looks like they're sitting in water, I take it.
Yes,
Because
beautiful.
of all the purple or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the blue bonnets. I mean, sometimes when you're driving in front of, the farms and ranches, it looks like there's a huge lake in front of it, but it's not. You're looking at the blue bonnets.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody goes on my Facebook page, Bueller Photography, they can sort through the photos. They'll see the violets, and
Awesome.
it's like the second or third week of March when they're there. So that's coming up. So
But you kind of have to, you don't know that it's when exactly they're going to come, so you can't really schedule it until they're there.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah, but somebody will say something. It's like, "Hey, Sandy, call me when they're blooming,
Yeah.
and we'll get over there." So
Plus, you've got an old wagon sitting out front, too. Do you ever do anything around that? Don't you?
I've done some stuff with it, but right now I've put it over into another area so it doesn't get destroyed.
Good. Good.
Yeah, an old buggy wagon.
Yeah, that was
horse
cool.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful area, and it's to go and do all that, and then all that you offer along with it. You make it an event and a fun day.
Well, it's an experience.
Yeah.
I love shooting skeet or trap. That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we also do headshots, and look who's on our right off the high of the presses. Our new marketing collateral. No other than Priscilla.
Thank
She's
you,
just
Sandy.
nice. She's a nice cover girl.
Oh.
And let me tell you something. She looks a lot younger in person than she does on a printed piece.
I knew I loved you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. But I love this. I love what you put together. And I mean, you just put, you've redone some of your stuff, and it's a session guide and why they're different,
Yeah.
and how you care, and you're really like you said, it's an experience, not just going and taking a photo.
What, the digital photos versus going to a photo studio, it's two totally different things.
And I mean, as y'all know, I personally have gone to Sandy, and I wasn't stressed. I wasn't, it was just nice to be there and do it, and you made me feel so comfortable doing the pictures,
Yes.
So you directed me what I needed to do and all that, but it was easy.
Well, in the professional fields, I mean, every so many years, you need to get an updated professional headshot. You just do.
Yes, there are some
You
people
ladies
that
are the
have
worst.
some older headshots.
There's still a couple
yeah.
running around in 1970s leisure suits that I see
Yeah.
out there today.
Yes,
That's too funny.
yes. And then on top of it, you also do all the like you were talking about, the family ones.
Yeah, family. We do seniors. We do mommy and me's. And
I love the mommy and me's.
more family, more headshots, and this is a what we call a legacy couple.
You were talking about that earlier.
Yes,
Please tell.
please.
So when we
Please
have
share that.
the grandma and grandpa, the family, we have I usually sell it to the daughter, and she gifts this to her parents
Okay.
to come out and get a. It's not being disingenuous, but it's like their last portrait of their life. That's
Oh, wow.
that they're going to take the time out and really do it right.
And how many of us want that?
Oh, if
Later.
I would have had a portrait, my family, my
Yeah.
mom and dad.
Yeah.
It was just funny because they passed away 2 years before I started doing this on my own, which is 20 years ago. And so it is a emotional aspect to what I'm passionate about doing photography. And for the older couples, we get them. I take their photograph. It's done. But while they're in the studio, I put a microphone on them, and I get them to start talking for about 10 minutes about how they met, when they got married, about the children, the grandchildren, the highlights of their life, and I gift that video to them.
Oh, man, that's priceless.
It's like a
It's
time
just
capsule
priceless.
treasure trove.
Yeah.
You can't take it away from them. Their grandchildren, their great grandchildren, legacy video. That's why I call it legacy. And so that's what inspires me and drives me to do this. And it's funny because I'll be at who knows where at a restaurant, and I'll see a couple, and I'll say, "Hey, y'all want to come in for a photograph?"
Yeah. But maybe I love that, the kids buy it for the parents because they want to have that priceless possession. And so, anybody that is listening needs to contact you. You got parents' anniversary coming up. What a better gift than to give that and have that family portrait, or have just the parents or the grandparents.
Speaking of contact,
do that.
What's the best way for them to reach out and contact you?
Just go on Facebook, and there's contact information there. There's our phone number
For
Buller Photography.
Mm-hmm.
You can do the messenger stuff. We reply to that.
And multimedia then.
Yeah. So we're available.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But what a great, if y'all haven't done that, somebody has not done that. I did that for my best friend with her mother and her kids, and a year before Ada passed. But those pictures are priceless to us.
Yeah.
They're absolutely, and it was, the day of taking the pictures wasn't so emotional as when we went back to the photographer after they were ready and for us to pick the pictures. That's when the emotions hit.
Yeah, right now our process, the way we do our photo sessions, is that the client gets to pick their photographs immediately after they've taken them.
Okay.
So we'll leave the camera room and we'll go into our another room where the computer is.
Mm-hmm.
Put the SD card in there, and they pick which images they want right then and there.
Mm-hmm. And then you finalize them.
Yeah, because I've noticed that we used to send them home, and we would give them a gallery link,
Mm-hmm.
and
they
never get around to it.
Yeah.
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 And so our
So-
experience is if they'll pick 1 or 2, 3 photographs right then and there, they are really happy, and I'm able to get it printed on whatever materials, or the canvas or metal, and we also do framing for them.
Mm-hmm.
So if they
Canvas or metal?
on canvas and metal,
So how does the metal work? How does that?
Oh, it's.
I'm learning
gorgeous.
something. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking the
It's
question while we're here.
Gorgeous. It's almost like a it looks shiny,
Yeah.
but also
The metal.
the metal is
Okay.
the image is printed on the metal,
Mhm.
and which is fantastic because it'll never fade away. You can also wipe it if it gets you can put it. You
For a
can't
photograph, you can't do that.
you can't put photographs in a bathroom because it's too humid, right?
Okay.
Right.
You could put a metal photograph in a bathroom.
Interesting.
And then the canvas, that
Never
makes it
thought
look
of
like a painting. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Mhm.
You know this.
Mhm.
It's one little girl here. Now she is she's digitally painted, so there's no rough edges in her hair, and in her dress they're all brush strokes that we did in Photoshop. We manipulated the pixels so it's all hand painted looking, and it's printed on canvas. And it's not printed on canvas, it's printed on a photographic paper. And then the
Can I
paper
look
is
at that? Can I look at that while you're explaining it? I'm just
Yeah.
trying to get a grasp
Yeah.
of what you're sharing.
Mhm.
and then the print is pressed into a canvas substrate.
Wow.
And it adheres into the canvas substrate, and then it's stretched around the board so that they get it tight.
Okay.
And then that
Isn't that cool?
piece comes back to me, and I hand paint acrylic strokes over the outside of the canvas.
So is that like a clear coat?
No, I use colored acrylics
On top of
on top of the canvas, so it actually
You
looks
could
like
never tell by looking at that.
Mm-mm.
No, well, that's the point about sometimes printed pieces versus an actual. If I would have brought the real piece,
Yeah.
you would see the 3-dimensional brush strokes
Oh
on it.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then after the individual brush strokes, then we do a lacquer coating, and it's museum style, classic portraiture, and we do this kind of for these preschoolers because the print is 40 inches tall, so
Oh,
we
wow.
call it life size.
Oh wow.
They're life size
Yeah, that's almost
portraits.
4 feet. 48 inches is 4 feet.
Yeah.
That's big.
So
Yeah.
how wide?
It's about 30 inches wide, 40
Okay.
by 30,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
And so it's a life-size print, and our signature style is to always have the bare feet.
it just is a beautiful thing.
It has this
Right.
innocence, this angelic.
Well, and you also did it here
Yeah.
with the mommy.
Well, it goes off into other sessions as well as our barefoot signature.
Yeah, I love it. I mean that one, and then that
So you need to
one.
get a man a pedicure before
Yeah.
you come see Sandy.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Well-
Because they may end up barefoot.
They could.
They could.
Yeah.
So, oh
Out,
my
out
gosh.
in the purple
Yeah.
violets.
Right. Oh, that is so cool. But I have seen those canvas that you've done of the families, but I've did not realize you did all the other things to them.
Yeah, there's a lot more involved than just snapping the picture with a camera.
And see, that's what people don't understand about your photography and how y'all do it, is so there's just a lot of detail that nobody else does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we also will, if they have a place in their home where they want their framed portrait to be hung, they can take a picture of that wall, and then I can composite different sizes so
so they can see what
see
it's
what
gonna,
size, if they want a 60-inch piece or
yeah.
40-inch piece, what it would look like on the wall once it's made. And
so it's like a virtual photograph hanging,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and they pick the correct size from
Yeah.
you. So
Right.
that's awesome.
And so they know what they're going to get
See?
before we even make it. And but once it is made, it's brought over, and we also provide somebody to hang it for them. So I don't have to do it, and neither does the husband have to do it.
And the wife gets to sit there and
We
look at it
get a
and say,
professional
this is where I want it, make it happen, and the professional does it.
professional
and
hanger does
there's
it.
no,
You know,
what do I want to say? Anxiety for the husband.
yeah,
Mitigates any mistakes.
that's right. So I mean, it's a full service from
Mm-hmm.
helping them select their clothes, what they're going to wear, what it's going to look like in their home, and we make sure that they're going to have a great experience, whether it's the whole family or if it's just a couple or even a single person that comes out to our studio. We're going to take care of them.
Yeah.
There's always usually a we call it charcuterie board. We have salami and cheese and
Right,
crackers.
right.
At minimum, there's that.
Right, right.
And if not, other times there could be sandwich stuff, and other times we could hire a chef to make little appetizer things.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's fabulous.
just something
that is
that they
fabulous.
have, and we have a blast. And
Yes, I agree.
and
Mm.
the experience is their portrait is just a souvenir. How they experienced today was what they remember.
Yeah, yeah.
People
Yeah.
remember experiences. You're
So
right.
Jake, get over here and ask Sandy some more questions.
Actually, do we have any questions that have come in?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet?
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And
Switch.
this is the hardest working young man in
Uh-huh.
Katy, Texas.
100%. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
And we have
back
Jake
here.
Fisher today.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's me. That's me. So, yeah, I wanted to ask you, I've been doing a bit of photography myself. How long have you been doing photography for?
Um,
I'm nowhere near as good as you, by the way.
since 1978.
Okay.
I got injured on a football field in high school, and my mom and the English teacher, journalism teacher, conspired and said, if you're going to go to the football games, you're going to go take photographs. And it was such a geeky assignment. It was like not wanting to do that.
So you went from football player to photographer.
Yeah, and I was totally a geek, but then they showed me what the darkroom was, where we had to develop our own film and print our own photographs, and that was cool because once you turn on the developer light,
Yeah.
no one could come into the room. So I was in high school with my own private room.
That's pretty cool.
Well, so I elevated
So
the
that's
geek.
not all bad after all.
I elevated the geek on Friday night to being the dude with the secret room
Yeah.
on Monday morning. So
That's cool.
I've been doing that and went to college. Was in head of the photography for the newspaper and the yearbook at the University of St. Thomas here in Houston.
Oh, what a wonderful school.
Yeah, and I had a wonderful, awesome darkroom there in the student center, and along with they paid me to do it too, which was sort
Really?
of
Well, they paid you.
yeah, they paid me to be a photographer. Could you imagine being paid to be a photographer when you're in college? And I did that, and I also did weddings, and I did work for social events. I worked for Lieutenant Governor Hobby's reelection
Oh, wow.
back when Mark White, I believe, was running for governor. Did those? I was always into political stuff and taking photographs, and it was a great time. And then after that, I graduated, but no one ever said I could go work for myself. I never knew that I could like do that. Although I was doing it, but I didn't know I could be an entrepreneur.
That's a mindset.
So it took me 20 years of working in corporate life to come back out and recognize that I could do it on my own. And it was over 20 years ago that I left corporate life and started working as a photographer full time on my own.
Mm-hmm. Wow, awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
went from analog. I mean, I had the 4x5 Omega View cameras and
I don't even know what
Hasselblads.
that is.
No, you know when the bellows cameras, big negatives, 4x5 negatives.
Wow. Okay.
So those are the kind of cameras they had. What time period was this?
This was the early '80s.
That's
But
before Jake was born.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
But if you did,
That's our cake to Jake.
if you did corporate photography, you had to have a large format because they wanted a 4x5 negative,
Okay.
and so it was.
I don't believe I've ever seen that. I mean, I remember the regular negative strips.
What is it? A camera?
It's a 4x5 Omega View.
I want to look it up.
Yeah.
That's what's nice about
No,
my
it's
generation.
about,
I can just Google
it's
this.
about the, I mean,
Yes.
it comes back about this size, but then with the bellows is out, it's about this big,
Okay.
and then it has
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking.
yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
if it has a film back, you only take one photograph at a time, and you pull the film back out and put another one in.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So you'd load up, 5 or 6 film backs to go do a commercial job. That's like an 8x10 one.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. Now these, I've seen these before. These
I
are.
remember being a little kid and getting school pictures, and that's what the photographer used. Now that I see that.
They
Yeah.
had a giant flash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You were blinded. You see stars after the
Right.
fact.
Explosion.
There was no soft lighting or anything. It looked like a welder went off in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what, but now we're just hanging out in the 35 millimeter digital world.
I want to ask you, do you think that smartphones are capable of taking just as good as a photo as a professional camera like that one? That's an argument a lot of photographers have nowadays. It's not, like you said earlier, it's not the camera, it's the photographer.
Yeah, it is a photographer. Actually, I can take printable work on my cell phone.
Yeah.
I mean, the limit is, how many pixels does it have? But even so, with the new software and AI, whatever missed pixels that might be in a cell phone image, the artificial intelligence can fill it in and make it look like it was there.
Right, yeah.
So it is limitless. It gets back to it's not the camera or the device that takes it. It's the eye behind the camera that will generate a photograph, whether it's good or bad.
What about shutter speed and stuff? I know years ago that was very important that you had the film and shutter speed. Does that have anything to do with today's technology? And I'm just in your brain.
Yeah, no. If you know what the camera mechanisms are doing,
Which most people do not.
well, but that's how you manipulate light on the it's not I guess it's digital negative now, but if you wanted a darker image, you need to know how to make the shutter faster because it prevents the light to come in.
Okay.
Where you may need more light for it to be exposed. Or you shut down the aperture of the lens, which you don't have the aperture adjustment on the cell phones, which is the distinction between a cell phone and a
Most cell phones. Some of the new ones.
Some of them
have
do?
the new iPhones.
yeah, and iPhones. Actually, I have made money using my client paid me to use my iPhone at an event where I was not permitted to have a 35 millimeter camera, but they still wanted me in at the event.
You weren't allowed to use a 35
Well,
millimeter?
yeah, you can't use a 35 millimeter camera in the Toyota Center during an event.
Really?
Why? That's weird.
I don't know,
You're a
but
photographer. You should-
everybody has their
Yeah.
cell phone,
Right.
and they said, "Can he shoot photographs with a cell phone?" They said, "Sure." He just can't. He can't have his 35 millimeter camera, which was nuts.
Okay.
And they said, "Well, you do what you got to do." And I took photographs with my cell phone all night,
Mm-hmm.
and they were happy. You know,
Interesting. I want to ask, what are like the 3 key factors that make a great photographer?
consistency.
Or if there's more than 3, or,
Um,
or less than 3.
Oh, the desire to see what works in photographs in the past. Why does one image have more of an impact than another, and be able to distinguish what the elements or the aspects are of that image. And the third one would probably be know your equipment and know what it does and why it does it, and know how to manipulate it so that you make the device do what you want, not allow the device to do what it wants.
Oh, right.
You control the device instead of the device
Yeah.
controlling you.
I create.
Your outcome.
I create my image, and I'm just using the device as a tool to do it with.
And it's a huge learning curve, by the way, with cameras. It's a lot of learning to learn how that all works, you know, because it can be quite complicated. It's not like
Yeah.
an iPhone that does everything for you.
Like you said earlier, like a picture that's moving. I mean, you can have a great photograph, but it could be out of balance because there's a whole bunch of stuff here and then 1 or 2 things here.
Yeah, and then the sun will have its glare bouncing down on it, and it'll just be a
And then if
huge
you-
sun glare going against it, and you can't fix that in editing. So you have to have everything perfect.
And then you can have somebody like Sandy go, if we move this, this, and this, and then he shoots it, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's a masterpiece.
Mhm.
But I couldn't see it. He could.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what
Mhm.
people misunderstand, right, about photographers. And they're like, oh, it's so easy to take a picture. I can do that with my phone, but it's
Right.
really not that easy.
Well, there's something that does distinguish a photographer than who's actually mastered photography, because there's I forget how many elements that are required to make a good photograph. I think it's like 12, 14 elements. And each one of they're distinct, but once you learn them all, you have this ability to look at something and see if all what you're looking at has those 14 elements in it. And if it doesn't, what can you do to change it so it does? And so unless you have that mental capacity to know what makes a good photograph, you're just going to shoot whatever you shoot. And usually I shoot what's there too. But if there is some detail that if you just change it just a little bit, ever so slightly, it makes night and day from an average photograph to a perfect photograph.
With my photos personally, I kind of compare it to golf. I get 1 PGA shot in every time I play a round of golf. So if I take 140 pictures, which is what I normally hit when I play golf, 140 strokes, I'll get a great picture.
We need to work on that.
Well,
But that's just the math. I mean, getting lucky.
yeah, but Richard, in golf, your ball always lands where you hit it.
That's correct.
Right.
So your photographs are going to be what you take.
I get 2 rounds of golf for the price of 1.
Yeah.
I want to ask you one more question. What do you think of AI creating photos? Does that make it harder for you with what you do as photography? Because AI can just make a photo of everything, you know?
It can, and it looks like that. And I mean, if you'll look at some photographs that have been manipulated, the people's hands look like they're monster hands.
You can
They're-
tell.
you
They're
can
also
tell.
really,
You
it's
can
really
tell.
smooth. You can't see the texture and actually all the little. That's how you can tell if something's
Yeah.
AI.
Nuances, is
Yeah,
that the right
you
word?
can't see like the little wrinkles in someone's face. You
Mhm.
know, it's all
Yeah.
smoothed over.
Yeah, well, we've been smoothing over skin for a long time, and
Just watch TV.
Yeah, just watch.
but there's a you know either you smooth the skin out or you over plasticize it,
Yeah.
and it becomes not natural looking.
Buttery.
As long as it still looks conceivable that they had proper makeup on, it was airbrushed on, perfect.
Right. Well, it also, AI is not real, and a real photograph is a real photograph, and I think that's the biggest distinguish. Is
The human element, I mean,
that's what
you
makes
have
it
to
art.
have that eye, I believe. I mean, computers, I look at that stuff as a resource to help enhance what I'm trying to accomplish, but not create what I'm trying
Not
to
solely
accomplish.
rely on it.
Correct.
But the other thing you also do, Sandy, is you do the drone.
Oh, you do.
And you do like a big group. If you need a big group picture, that's great to do with a drone because you can get all the people in it because you're taking it from up there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What kind of a drone do you use?
I don't know, DJI. I've got a couple of them.
Those are really nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I have the one that has the Hasselblad camera on it.
Okay.
I forget what it's called, but then I also have the smaller one that I can fly where the big one can't. But I have a license,
Right.
so I know where I should fly and where I shouldn't fly.
Right.
And if I can't fly, and the customer says I need you to be here, sometimes the device won't even lift off the ground if it's in a restricted area. So the devices know if they're in an area where they can't lift off. So, but I do take drone shots, and I'm a licensed drone pilot.
But it really does, even for the, you've got a big company that wants their photo done. The drone is a great way to do it because it enables you to get a lot of people in it.
Mm-hmm.
More of a panoramic type
Right.
shot.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Before I forget, I gotta plug in what we have coming up. We are doing a blood drive on March 8th at the Ballard House. We did nail down the time. 1 to 5, is it 1 to 5 p.m.? 1 to 5:30 p.m. Saturday, March 8th. So if you guys would please come out and support us. We will have a link so that you guys can register. We are trying to fill the donor coach up for the whole time. I think we have around 15 people already signed up, so thank you so much for supporting us.
Thank you very much.
We do run out of blood every single day, so whether you come to our blood donation, just please donate blood anywhere as often as you
So
can.
last year's blood drive helped how many people?
We saved 70 lives.
Wow.
And that blood was used before the sun set that night. They
Wow.
have a driver that shows up there a half hour before they wrap up. He's picking it all up, and he's on his way to the hospital to disperse that blood. That's how fast it goes, guys.
Plus, you also get to experience the Ballard House if they haven't.
And
And
if
in
you
it,
haven't been
and-
to the Ballard House,
Mhm.
actually, Miss Priscilla, you come do the plug for that. 'Cause
No.
that is
Well,
your passion and your baby.
it's just we've all been touched with friends, family that have had cancer or something, and it's just an amazing place that people can come in
Beautiful.
from out of town and stay at and not have the added expense
Free
when
room
you're
and board for 90 days.
going through all that. And so, last year you decided to do it at the
Across
Ballard
the road.
House, which was great because people got to go and walk through and see, and
Everybody that came checked it out.
Yeah.
They did.
and it makes it real for people when you see what other people are going through and how little things can help.
Yes.
So that was a twofold benefit. So I'm so glad that we're doing that. We did a sporting clay shoot for the Ballard House last week. The puppy in the live auction. Thank you, Glenn Beckendorf, for being the live auctioneer.
Great
Raised
man.
$5,000 on, a golden doodle.
Wow.
hmm
That's a lot of money.
So yeah.
No,
So-
but the lady that won the bid or whatever,
Oh.
she sent a very touching email back to Dave.
Yes, and that was that she's probably in her mid-30s. She was the one that bought the dog, and she had lost her husband last June
Oh,
unexpectedly. And so for that to have been there and given her comfort was such a blessing.
Mm.
Such a blessing. So she got an amazing little dog. Yeah, that I wanted to keep.
Yeah, I saw that photo on social media.
Well,
Walking
maybe,
away with it, yeah.
maybe
Uh-huh.
when the puppy gets a little older, I can gift her with a free photo session to her or the dog
There you go.
Oh,
as a gift from the Ballard House.
oh, bravo!
So get me connected so I can honor my word.
Got it. Done.
That's awesome.
Oh, Sandy, what a blessing. I love that. Okay.
It's good.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Oh,
really nice.
that's cool.
Alright, I'm gonna let you do the outro.
Oh, no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no.
Switch.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Uh-huh.
You guys argue very well.
I know. Jake wants to make sure that he's shutting down and doing all the things that need to be done in case, if I was doing it, I might miss something.
Or
So,
Denise.
Yeah, which you usually do.
Jake!
Well, Priscilla, thank you very much for having me out
Thank
this
you,
morning. and
Sandy. This
visiting.
was
Thank you so
fun.
much. This was
Oh
great.
my gosh,
Yeah, I'm
this
glad
was so
I
much
could-
fun.
I could come out and
I am too.
hang
I am
out and
too.
do this
I
with
am
you
too.
guys.
And then
Get
you'll
some photos. Reach out to Sandy.
Yeah.
please
I recommend definitely. These
Definitely.
photos
are amazing.
Oh, they're spectacular.
Amazing.
Back in
So,
the
good
Yeah.
job.
yes.
Well, thank you very much.
hmm
Appreciate it.
And so don't forget Buller Photography. What's the your website?
.com.
.com.
It's in the
Just
description.
BullerPhotography.com.
Yeah.
Phone number 713.
818-3771.
Mm-hmm.
And
And of course, Jake will have all of that in the comments and everything. So that's the way you can get in touch with Sandy.
Yeah.
hmm And then sign up for the blood drive.
Yep.
One more plug.
If you're gonna buy a
Yeah.
house, call
Mhm.
Jake. He's a hardworking young man.
Yes. Yes.
yeah, the Gulf Coast Regional Blood Center.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Who's doing that? Yep. They're amazing.
Let's fill the bus. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks.
Thanks.